Hi, my name is Ray McMeans. I'm the inventor of the Duo Flush system. I'm going to be demonstrating on how easy it is to install the Duo Flush system in less than 10 minutes. The first step we're going to do to install the Duo Flush system, you're going to push your handle down and let all the water flush out of your toilet tank. Keep the handle up while letting the rest of the water flush out. And then after that, you'll then take either a rag or some folded up paper towels or a sponge, and you will sponge out the rest of the water that's in the bottom of the tank, and you just take it right over and put it right into the bowl. So you're going to just take the excess water from the tank and into the bowl. Then after you've done that, you're going to put your hair dryer on high, and for about 2 minutes you're going to hit the area around the toilet flapper right here, around this piece here. You're going to go around it for about 2 minutes and dry out the rest of the tank. After 2 minutes, it'll be sufficiently dry, and then we'll be able to start installing the unit. Now, if you do not have a hair dryer, it's not a problem. All you have to do is sponge out the excess water that's in the bottom of the tank, leave the lid off, and wait about 2 hours, and then you'll be able to install it without using the hair dryer. Now we'll get started with installing the unit. Now we're going to take the base unit. This is the base unit here. It has a release paper on the bottom. We want to keep that on until we're ready to install. I'm going to put the base unit down like this. Matter of fact, I'm going to turn it towards the back. All right. Now this is our main box item right here. You're going to take the side that has the hole drilled on the side here like this, and you're going to sit it on top of the base unit like so, and then you're going to take the band, the EPDM band, and you're going to go into that first groove right there. If you see, it'll go right in there. You make sure you go into that first unit at the first groove at the very top. Then we're going to take the stop mechanism. If you look at it from the side view, you can see what it looks like, just like that. And I'll show you by turning this sideways like so. And we're going to take it and we're going to make sure we place it so that the flat side is against the box like so. And you're going to put it on like so, and then the band will go on top like this. And the band will hold it into place, like so. Now this provides a stop mechanism so the unit cannot open up too far. Now basically we're ready to install. We have to remove the overflow tube and get this out of the way. So we pull it out of the top of the unit and we set it aside. We now must disconnect our hook, and for this purposes we're going to actually remove the handle. Most toilet tanks you will not need to remove your handle, but for this purposes, so you have the best unobstructed view, we're going to remove this handle prior to us continuing. Okay, since now we have the handle removed so you can get the best view we can while we're installing this, we're going to take the overflow tube and I'm going to have it and set it aside. Our flapper assembly is already disconnected at the chain. We're going to take the unit right here and we're going to remove the release paper. We remove the release paper that's on the bottom. Now this is a special butyl sealant that when we press this down, it'll seal to the bottom of your tank, fill any gaps or voids, and put it perfectly down flat and level. After we have that removed, we're then going to take it with the stop mechanism to the back here, with the holes here. We're going to place that on the opposite side of your float right here. It's on the opposite side. We're going to then take the unit and we're going to slide it down like so. Now after we have it down, we're then going to move it to the left to about 1/4 inch from your flapper right here. 1/4 inch from your flapper inside here. So now I'm going to pick it up and move it slightly. It might stick a little bit, and you might have to give it a little bit of a pull. But once we have it in, we're then going to place it down like so. And we have it in place, and we're center front to back. And now we're going to press down. Now if you see the sealant starts to ooze out down there, that'll provide a nice flat seal. Give nice good even pressure, and then we see that it will open and close unobstructively. You take a look here, it's oozed out, and it's going out around the toilet bolts. If you want, you can give it just a little bit of more of a push, but it looks like we're in pretty good shape. Now after you've installed it, if you find out it needs to be pushed down a little bit more after the water's in the tank, that's okay. A quick note, if your toilet has the flapper here, if it is a water saving flapper, an adjustable flapper, or one that's meant to close sooner to try to save you a little water, sometimes those flappers in connection with our water saving device could pose a little bit of a problem. So that being the case, your best bet is to buy a universal toilet flapper just like this that costs just a couple dollars, and install that. Now only do that if you're running into a problem with the flapper closing too soon for the full flush. So now that our unit is down, we can take our overflow tube, place that back in top, okay, and we can reinstall our toilet handle. Okay, now you take your hook that's hooked up to your flapper already, and you take the beaded chain that I provide you, and you snap it into place like so. Now if it isn't a snap type hook and it's just a plain hook, you can just slide it over the hook, and that'll work just as well. After you've done that, you will take the beaded chain and you will place it through the hole here. You see on to the side. You'll place it through, and then you're going to go over top, and you're going to come through the second hole like so. Now you'll see why that is designed like that, to make it easier for you to adjust. Okay, once you've done that, you can then take your chain. Now if you need to adjust the length of your chain for the unit, you just go ahead and do that. You shouldn't have to, but if you have to, just change the length of your flapper chain to the handle. After you've done that, you're then going to hook on like so. You're going to take our sealing piece right here that seals the side of the unit right here, and you're going to put the smooth side against the box. And you're going to just basically line that hole up like that, and you're going to press the screw through like so. And after you've done that, you will then take the screw, and it's best to put it in the top hole first, because 90% of the toilets, that'll be the right place, is in the top hole. If you need it lower for some reason, you can lower it down to the second hole down below. After you push the screw through the cap in through the flapper adjustment plate here, and it comes through that top hole, you're then going to attach the wing nut, and you're going to hand tighten. So it needs to be hand tightened just slightly for now. After you've done that, you will then take, this is basically your weight unit. This provides weight for the full flush. You're going to make it so that the hole is at the top. When you're all said and done and you're adjusted to the right height, that hole will be up top. So we will adjust this cap to just about the same height as the top of the box. That's a good starting point. Once you have it there, you'll then snap. You'll hear the snap of the bottle go into the cap, and then tighten slightly. And now we're basically ready to give it a try. So now we will demonstrate the partial flush. I will push the handle down like normal, and then release. You see how it closes, allowing just enough water to flush away number one. Now we're going to demonstrate the full flush. Basically all we're going to do is push the handle down, and we're going to hold it for 2 seconds. Basically 1, 2. 1 for 1, 2 for 2. And it's amazing how fast that you don't even think of it anymore. It becomes instinctual. You're just going to hold it down when you need to do the full flush. 1, 2. So now we're going to talk about the different adjustments that might need to be made on the unit. Here you have the beaded chain. If you notice, I've made this so that it's very easy to adjust. To make the right length, all you need to do is push it through or pull it through the other side. If you pull it through one side, like so, you're going to lengthen it or shorten it, like so. Now you want to adjust this chain so that when you push the handle down and the box tries to close, it will stop about 1/4 inch from the bottom. It doesn't have to be exactly 1/4 inch. You just want to make it so that when you hold that handle down for that extra second, that it will hold the box up off the bottom plate by at least 1/4 inch. That'll allow the weight in your weight tube over here to kick in and work. And you can easily do that by moving this back and forth through the holes. That's the one adjustment. Your second adjustment is on how deep the weight tube needs to be in the water. Usually if it's about, a little bit, about maybe 1/4 inch under the water, that's about a good place to put it. And if you loosen up the wing nut right here, you'll notice that this swings up and it swings down, for the height. And once you have it so that it is at about 1/4 inch under the water, you'll then tighten the wing nut, like so. And then once you have it when it's about 1/4 inch under the water, you can pop off your cap and make sure your hole is at the top, like so. And you're just going to then snap it back into place, like so. And then that's the right height. For your adjustment plate, this piece right here, this rubberized right here, this rubberized material right here, if you turn it like so, you'll notice that it'll allow additional water to come in through here. See where my fingers are coming through? Right here, like so. So if you turn that, and find the right amount of water, your toilet might need a little bit more water for your partial flush. And once you get it at the right amount opening, then you put your tube once again about 1/4 inch under the water, like so. Now let's see how she works with that almost fully open. And then we're going to do the partial flush. And see how she closes, but she lets additional water in. Okay? So if your toilet needs more water for your partial flush, that's what you do. You just loosen up the wing nut, and you're able to turn that rubberized plate for how much water to let into your box. And then once you get the exact amount of water coming into your box, then once again you make sure that your round weight tube is about 1/4 inch under the water and the hole is at the top. Now like most toilets, this doesn't need any additional water, or very little, so I'm going to put this back to where it was, where it doesn't need any additional water. And I'm going to then return this back to where it was. And then tighten it back up again, so that it's ready for the next flush. There are the 3 adjustments you need to make, you might need to make on your toilet. Now we're going to talk about, in case you come across a funny toilet arm. If your toilet arm is very tight against the front of your tank and it poses a problem with it operating, I give an accessory to fix this problem. We're going to go ahead and take off the chain there, and you're going to use this item here. Now this is an extension arm that I provide along with some heat shrink. And this basically will allow it to extend out over the unit. By just sliding this over the arm, it heat shrinks so it can adjust to a variety of different toilet scenarios. And once you have it on and you have it in place, you're then going to just hold the toilet arm up like so, and if you take the lighter, and it will shrink up the heat shrink. Not getting too close to the end here. Stay back from the end a little bit. And we'll just let it shrink it up like so. And that's it. We'll let it cool off for a minute. Now we'll take our chain, and now we can hook it up to our spot that like so. Now it gives it that little extension out over the box so it doesn't pose any problems. And then also we'll demonstrate that it works there with that extension arm. So now that we have the extension piece hooked up, and you notice how we can now flush it, and she operates perfectly great, fine. So now if we have that arm that's really tight against the front, you've added your extension piece, and it corrects the problem that if the arm is trying to fall out outside the box, because this piece will ensure that it'll always be in the right place. Now, as I discussed, if you have a toilet arm that drops down very, very low and it swings just down to the bottom just about, and it hits the top of the box, I provide this float device also, along with a little bit extra butyl that I provide. If you put a little butyl in the crack there, and then you just place it in like so, that when the water level raises up, you'll see that the float will lift the arm, lifting it into place so that the unit is ready to be used. And now we'll flush her. Okay. And this way, that when the toilet arm, if it swings down and hits the top, that is fine because it is closing anyway. Yet when the water level raises back up again and the water gets to the float, it will lift the arm up out of the way and be ready for the next flush. So this accessory here will take care of if it needs to be extended out over the box, as well as if it needs to be provided some lift so that the toilet arm doesn't keep the unit down. If you have a flapper assembly where the flapper runs this way, sideways, instead of front to back or even on an angle, if it runs sideways like this, you're going to want to install the unit as far left as you can without affecting the flapper, okay, to give you as much room as you possibly can. And if when you install that, this does not seem to open up very much, that is okay. It only needs to open a little bit for it to work. So in the units that are sideways like this, install it to the left as far as you can. And if it only opens up a 3/4 of an inch, that is fine. It'll still work under normal situations. If when installing the heat shrink for your extension piece here, you can use the hair dryer on high. It'll just take a little bit of time. It is a lot easier to use a lighter, okay, but you can use the hair dryer. In the unlikelihood that you run into any additional problems, you can feel free to contact me at raymondmcmeans@gmail.com. Thank you very much.